Alright, so we've done some good videos on cheap welders and stuff like that for you guys. Maybe I should say inexpensive, not cheap. So I thought it would be good to get you guys a plasma cutter. So we're going to do a review on this plasma cutter. It's going to be under 250 bucks. It has quite a bit of stuff in it. I think you guys will like this. So let's check out this Best Arc plasma cutter. Under 250 bucks for your garage or whatever. Has tons of equipment in it. Stuff for your airlines, your ground, some instructions, which is always good. Your plasma torch, 110 to 220 adapter, which is always good. I know they run on 110, but if you got 220, they'll always run much better. Some spare contact points. Alright, so let's grab some steel and let's see what you'll do. And if you like this kind of stuff, remember to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys want and, well, let's go. Best Arc sent me this unit to evaluate. Well, this not even out of the box yet, so, but stick around to the very end. Some interesting points on this unit that you might want to know about. Went through and made some notes. It's AG60 type of consumables, which is going to be key if you want to buy more. So your electrode and your tips, you're going to need these when you're using these. Are the consumables. Every unit's a little different. And let's see, 40 to 60 psi as far as your air. So you got to have a compressor. 45 liters a minute on the air. Comes with this little drag tip. Show you how to use this. Couple different modes, 2 and 4T. I'll show you how to go through that. So it does come with a dryer, which when you use these, dry air is the key. It's already installed, so that's a plus. Alright, so let's get this dude hooked up, going, and let's do some cuts. If you're wanting to get into the science of how a plasma works, this ain't that video. I'll show you how to use one in the garage. If this will work for you for 250 bucks, it's not bad. Let's see. Pretty easy to get everything all hooked up. I mean, I like pictures more than I like to read too, so that's all good. So you have your main torch. Main torch hookup, let's see. And it goes there. Your trigger. I mean, so far it's pretty easy to use. And your ground strap. So if you're doing floors or stuff like that, maybe this will work for you. Get caught up in bread wrappers there. Alright, typical DINS connector for your ground. Ground this dude out. Now there's everything in here if you got to hook this up to air for your air hose or something like that. So I'll show you what I use for air. The big thing is the pressure and the flow. I don't know that this will run on a pancake style compressor. You could always give that a try. Like I said, 40 to 60 psi, 45 liters a minute for air. And the other thing is going to be your power, right? I think the lowest this thing will run is 20 amps. So a typical 110 breaker is around 15, 20. So on the low end, you might be good, depending on your wiring. High end, I think I said 50 to 60 amp, if you're really cutting thick stuff. So there's a little cheat sheet on the box as well. So the box, even on the outside, it gives you some of the ratings. Now it says here 15 to 50. Manual says 25. So those two don't jive very well. We'll hook it up to 220, just so I can give you guys a good feel on how it cuts. And then if you got a dryer connector or something like that, or if you're hooking up for an electric car nowadays, well, it's the same thing. It should be at least. All right, let's plug it in. Let's cut some stuff. All right, so we don't have air on it yet, but you reach back here and turn this dude on. It's gonna be alarming out because there's no air. Okay, that goes away, so we're at 16. We're gonna dial all the way down to 15 amps. It says here 75 PSI. That's what we're set at right now. So you can adjust what you need as far as air goes. And in their manual, you can go through here, which you should always read, just at least skim it. At least look like you're looking at it. So PSI 40 to 65. So I'm just wearing my hood. Now if you got some shade, maybe a 7 or 8 or something like that, that might work as well. And then, well, I don't like being burned, so gloves are cheap as well. If you're gonna do a lot of this, I would suggest a respirator. I'm not gonna wear one because, well, I'm talking. 2T versus 4T. 2T, when you push the button, it comes on. When you let off, it goes off. Very simple. 4T, you press it. You always got a compressor, so hey, that's part of it. 4T, when you press it, it comes on. And you press it again to take it off. So far it's pretty easy. And before we're done, I'll break this down and show you how to change the components out and that kind of thing. But so far so good. I gotta put my cheaters on so I can see better. Okay, so that's around 1/8 inch. Let's go up just a little bit. Let's try some 1/4 inch angle. And we're gonna put this back on 2T. I'm gonna go up to about 25 amp. Let's just see what it does. So I just went a little too fast. Didn't give it a chance to blow out the slag on the backside. So I need to slow down a little bit. Now if you're doing this and you get a rooster tail, that means you're going way too fast. So let's try this again. Now I'm talking rooster tail, let me show you. See what happened there, how it blew out the back? That's because I was going so fast that I couldn't get through it. Alright, so that's 1/4, pretty easy peasy. That's a 25 amp at 65 PSI. Let's see what else we can cut. We're going to go to 30. Well, let's just see at 30 amp, 65 PSI if I can cut this piece of 1/2 inch piece of scrap. Alright, so it looks like I need to go up just a little bit because it cut pretty much all the way through. It just didn't get through, and I'm kind of bobbling up and down just a little bit. So if I slow down, this 1/2 inch should be no problem. So sometimes it helps if you steady yourself. Just slow down a little bit. Just like a metal eraser. Now you can also gouge with one of these. So if you go down just a little bit, if I'm trying to gouge out a weld, so let me show you this. I'm going to take off the drag tip here. It should just snap right off. Later that day. You just want to use it for gouging. So if you're trying to gouge off some welds, this dude's getting hot and I'm trying to hold it. You can still see in there, you know, just gouging out the welds, all I'm doing. So it allows you to just go in there and it's hot. You just gouge the weld. You don't go all the way through, you're just trying to take the weld out. Damn, that's hot. So that's a half inch gouging out some weld, 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. Let's cut some fun stuff. Let's say you got some old car parts you got to cut up or cut off the car. Well, it cuts just about anything. That's a piece of 1/4 inch. Okay, that worked. What if we need to cut the tube? Alright, so I had no idea how thick that was, so it looks like that was about a piece of 1/4 inch diameter. Now, you're going to ask, why wouldn't you just put that damn thing on the saw? Well, you're 100% right, but if you don't have a saw, well, it seems to work for that. I think Amazon's got it, at the time we record this, $249, so far so good. And once again, they sent this to us for an eval, so literally, by the time I unwrapped it to now, you're seeing this almost in real time. So, thin stuff, thicker stuff. What about we just drag? Let's try something. Let's just say, oh, that thing's full of dirt and crap. Let's say you've got some stuck bolts or something. And, well, you got to get a bolt off of here. So this will work good for that as well. Now you got to be careful you don't just blow through whatever you're trying to save. And if you want to turn the whole thing to liquid, you can. I just used it to split the nut. Turbo works good after you cut it. Basically is split it. And as long as you don't get too crazy, you really don't damage what's under it too bad. I'm just taking the nut off of it. Alright, so let's have a little fun now. Alright, so I have to adjust the valves on this old Mercury Meteor that I have. It's got new covers on it. I'm working on some other stuff here, ignore that. But I need to be able to adjust the rocker arms. And if anybody's ever done this, you know the minute you take that off, the oil is dumping on the exhaust manifold. So we're going to make a little tool to keep that from pouring everywhere. And since those are new valve covers, guess what we have an old one of? Alright, so we're going to take this valve cover, and granted, now I could use cutoff wheel and just buzz it off, but where would be the fun in that? We're going to dial this thing down because valve covers are pretty thin. And we took the drag shield off. And I'm just going to try to follow the tape. Doesn't have to be perfect, so that we can bolt it on and not have the flow of oil everywhere. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Now I'm just looking for the tape. But if you want to see someone good at freehanding a plasma torch, look up a lady by the name of Ray Ripple. She's freaking amazing what she does in artwork and plasma cutters. But back to this. So I could have very easy use a cutoff wheel and just went around it, and probably would have looked better. But just trying to show you guys what you could do with this. All right, so if you want to use this just as a air, and that way, the minute you do that, you can blow off your workstation or whatever with it. If you're inside of a car and you're trying to blow some stuff off, you can always, that stinks. You can always use that as an air gun a little bit as well. Should break down pretty easy, right? You got your insulator that comes right off. So then this tip is knurled, so it doesn't take much. You're not gonna go crazy on it, right? You got that, and you got the electrode here. They send you this little tool for the electrode. Let's see what we got here. That just unscrews, and this is what you'll replace, right? So just replace the electrode, the tip. Maybe you wear out the cup, but I never wore one of these out yet, but maybe I don't cut enough. So these tips. Now, if your air is bad, you'll get more wear on these. If you're making the actual contact with this, with the cup on the work, you'll get more wear. But it's pretty easy. Right, just make sure everything's clean. Put this back in, tighten this back up. Tip back on. Don't think. Nope. Just give that a little bit of a snug. No ugga-duggas. Then you can put your drag shield on. That way you don't make contact. Wrong side. Put your drag shield on. So, you know, pretty easy. All right, so the important stuff. So overall, I think that little Best Arc unit is pretty good. So one thing I wanted to at least let you guys know. So they did send this to us, and we did start this trial one other time with another unit. And I don't know if it's because we had some bad power issues here at the time. There was some storms going on and stuff, or it was a unit. But I had to contact Best Arc because the other unit died. But what I will say is that Best Arc got the unit right out to us. So there was no arguing or anything. They said check your power and the new unit's on the way. So for 250 bucks, you really can't ask for much more than that. So check out that little Best Arc. I think it's a great little tool for your garage or whatever. It'll work on 110, but you're gonna need, I'm gonna say, a 25-30 amp circuit breaker for that, which it'll be a special line, but you can do it. If you got a 220, especially if you're welding, I think it's $249.99, right? Just under the 250 mark. Comes built in with an air filtration. This is already all together for you, so you see in real time what I had to do to get this working. On the cover here, there's some guidelines. You know, thickness in millimeter inches, so 3/16, 40 to 50 air pressure, which we're running a lot more than that. We probably should have turned it down. I think we was at 60, 65. You do need some well-ventilated area because after a while there's quite a bit of fumes. Shouldn't have to tell you, shouldn't be around flammable stuff like that. And we'll get you a hood or something like that to see. If you can freehand, that's great. I'm not that great at freehanding. Cover like that's good. If you vary your hair as you get older, well, you'll appreciate that. Check out this little Best Arc, $249.99. I'll leave a link in, and feel like $499.99. I'll leave a link in the descriptions below for this little thing. Check it out. Let me know if you like it. If you buy it from Amazon, you can always send it back if you don't like it. See you in the next video. See you here for some fabrication stuff. Let me know how you guys like it. Thanks for watching.